The Battle of Stalingrad, fought between August 1942 and February 1943, was one of the bloodiest clashes in human history. It marked a turning point in World War II, where Nazi Germany's war machine suffered a catastrophic defeat. But why did Hitler's forces, known for their blitzkrieg victories, lose this pivotal battle? Today, we'll uncover the 4 key reasons behind Germany's failure at Stalingrad: overextended supply lines, fierce Soviet resistance, the brutal Russian winter, and a devastating Soviet counteroffensive. Let's dive into the chaos of this historic battle. In 1942, Nazi Germany was at the height of its power, dominating much of Europe. Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa in 1941, invading the Soviet Union with millions of troops. By summer 1942, German forces were pushing toward Stalingrad, a major industrial city on the Volga River. Capturing it would secure vital oil fields in the Caucasus and deal a symbolic blow to Soviet morale, as the city bore Stalin's name. The German 6th Army, led by General Friedrich Paulus, was tasked with taking the city. But Stalingrad would become their graveyard. To understand why, let's look at the first fatal mistake. Germany's blitzkrieg strategy relied on speed and overwhelming force, but it stretched their resources thin. Stalingrad was over 1,500 miles from Germany's supply bases, and the vast Soviet landscape strained their logistics. Fuel, ammunition, and food struggled to reach the front lines. The 6th Army, with over 300,000 men, was often left undersupplied, weakening their ability to sustain prolonged combat. Meanwhile, Soviet forces, fighting on home soil, had shorter supply lines and local support. This logistical nightmare set the stage for Germany's struggles. Stalingrad wasn't just a city, it was a fortress of Soviet determination. The Red Army, under commanders like Vasily Chuikov, turned the city into a maze of urban warfare. Soldiers and civilians fought block by block, turning factories, apartments, and sewers into battlegrounds. Stalin's "not a step back" order meant retreat was not an option. Soviet troops faced execution if they fled. Snipers like Vasily Zaitsev became legends, picking off German soldiers. This relentless resistance bogged down the Germans, costing them time, men, and morale. As autumn turned to winter, the Russian climate became Germany's worst enemy. Temperatures dropped to -30 degrees Celsius (-22 degrees Fahrenheit), and German troops, equipped for quick victories, were unprepared. Frostbite and starvation ravaged their ranks, while their vehicles and weapons froze. The Soviets, accustomed to the harsh winters, were better equipped with insulated clothing and winterized equipment. This environmental disaster crippled Germany's ability to fight, leaving them vulnerable to what came next. In November 1942, the Soviets launched Operation Uranus, a masterful counteroffensive. Soviet generals Georgy Zhukov and Alexander Vasilevsky exploited German weaknesses, targeting the poorly equipped Romanian and Italian armies guarding the 6th Army's flanks. Soviet forces encircled Stalingrad, trapping over 300,000 German troops. Hitler, obsessed with capturing the city, refused to allow a retreat. Luftwaffe attempts to airlift supplies failed, delivering only a fraction of what was needed. Starving and outgunned, the 6th Army was doomed. By February 1943, after months of brutal fighting, General Paulus surrendered. Of the 300,000 German troops encircled, only 91,000 survived to surrender, and fewer than 6,000 returned home after years in Soviet captivity. Germany lost over 800,000 men in the campaign, including allies. Stalingrad shattered the myth of German invincibility, shifting momentum to the Soviets. They would push westward, eventually reaching Berlin in 1945. Stalingrad wasn't just a battle, it was the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The Battle of Stalingrad stands as a testament to human resilience and the cost of hubris. Germany's defeat came from overconfidence, logistical failures, Soviet grit, and the unforgiving Russian winter. This battle changed the course of World War II, proving that even the mightiest armies could fall. Want to explore more turning points in history? Subscribe, like, and share for more deep dives into World War II. Until next time, stay curious.